Breaking news, Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark is out for a minimum of 2 weeks. That's according to ESPN. The former Iowa Hawkeye star is suffering a left quad strain.
No, man.
The WNBA was hit with shocking news when it was announced that Caitlin Clark would miss at least 2 weeks due to a left quad strain. The Indiana Fever star, who had never missed a regular season game in college or the WNBA, suddenly found herself sidelined. Fans immediately began asking questions about how the injury happened and what it means for both the Fever and the league.
What happened?
Steph, do you know when Caitlin's injury happened?
I don't know when it happened. I know afterwards, we got a message that she had something going on with her leg, and they were getting an MRI, and then we got the injury yesterday.
Was it after the Liberty game on Saturday?
Is that their last game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So Caitlin Clark is out, and fans are furious, absolutely furious with the organization of the Indiana Fever. And it is, again, we don't know. The Indiana Fever could be on the money, but something sounds fishy. Something sounds fishy. And it seems like, it does not seem like anything is working out at all right now for the Indiana Fever. After a 2-2 start, they've now lost their best player for 2.
As soon as the injury was announced, frustration spread across social media. Many fans pointed to the intense physical defense Clark had faced in recent games, arguing that officials failed to protect one of the league's biggest stars. The debate quickly shifted from the injury itself to whether the WNBA's officiating standards need serious improvement.
They got some bad news following Saturday's close home loss to the New York Liberty. That's because Caitlin Clark, who has not missed a game the entire season, has not missed a game even in college, she's going to miss some time, at least a couple of weeks. Then she will be reevaluated after sustaining a left quad strain, a slight tear in her left quad. It is a new injury, they say, not the same injury that she was dealing with in preseason.
And this is going to send shockwaves throughout the W, because no one thought Caitlin Clark was hurt at all. We all thought this was just low management. We all thought this was really something. And for Caitlin Clark to be out for 2 weeks led us to believe something must have happened in that New York Liberty game that forced Caitlin Clark to go to the doctor to possibly get x-rayed.
Clark had been taking hard contact game after game, leading some observers to wonder if her injury was simply unfortunate timing or the result of repeated physical play. While there is no evidence that opponents intentionally caused the injury, the discussion highlighted growing concerns about how aggressively teams defend the Fever's superstar guard.
Well, Malika, what we've been told so far by the team is that this is actually an injury that was separate from the quad tightness issue, as Caitlin Clark described it earlier in the preseason, that she dealt with before. So it's a little bit of an interesting situation given that it was the same leg, but the team is saying it is actually a new injury.
Without Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever lose their primary playmaker, scorer, and offensive engine. Her ability to create opportunities for teammates has transformed the team, and replacing that production will be nearly impossible. The next 2 weeks could determine whether Indiana remains a serious playoff contender.
Big news just released by the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark has suffered a quad injury, and she's going to be out for a minimum of 2 weeks. Really bad news for people going to games at home hoping to see Caitlin.
Clark's impact goes far beyond basketball. She has helped drive record television ratings, increased attendance across the league, and brought millions of new fans to women's basketball. Whenever she steps onto the court, interest in the game rises. Her absence is a major challenge not only for Indiana but for the entire WNBA.
WNBA got to clean up the officiating, man. All these fouls, all this hacking going on. Y'all ain't blowing no whistles. She don't get to the free throw line, bro. This is why y'all got to start calling fouls, man. Now, look, there's random injuries popping up.
Many analysts and fans believe Clark absorbs an extraordinary amount of contact without receiving enough foul calls. Whether that perception is accurate or not, the conversation has intensified since her injury. Critics argue that the league must ensure consistent officiating if it wants to protect players and maintain competitive fairness.
So up until the 14th, I do see these games against the Sun and against the Mystics and against the Sky as winnable games. But if anything, this should be a lesson to the league and a lesson to the officiating, because the amount of contact that is allowed without a foul call and the amount of physicality that Caitlin Clark has to battle through being double teamed and triple teamed, and honestly, it's mostly just not being called for these fouls, needs to be assessed. Caitlin Clark is the league's star player, whether you like it or not. It shows in the bottom line. It shows in the revenue. It shows in the viewership numbers. Every which way you turn, it shows. And as the league star player, she should not be bullied around or ragdolled, just pushed around like she is. There is an undeniable disparity in the officiating. I mean, think about the Kobe whistle in the NBA. No one touched him without an issue. I remember Draymond Green saying if anything happened to Steph, Draymond Green would get up in a player's face.
While Clark recovers, other Indiana players will have a chance to step into larger roles. Aliyah, Boston, and the rest of the Fever roster must prove they can compete without their biggest star. This stretch could reveal the true depth of the team and help develop players who may be crucial later in the season.
I wanted to share with you guys an article that I found that honestly gives us so much insight into the WNBA referees, how they are hired, how much they make, and there's one section that really stood out to me, and they break down essentially why they are making the calls that they make, and they also talk about the influx of new fans flooding to the WNBA. They talk about Caitlin Clark a little bit. This article to me was really telling. It actually came out in January, but it was published by SB Nation, and it's entitled How WNBA Referees Are Scouted, Trained, and Held Accountable Explained.
The good news is that Clark's injury is not expected to keep her out long-term. Medical staff will re-evaluate her condition after 2 weeks, and the organization hopes she returns fully healthy. Fans would rather see her take the time needed to recover than risk making the injury worse by returning too soon.
Well, and of course, a lot of blame should go to both Kathy Engelbert as the WNBA commissioner, spineless herself, and the players on the other teams because of their absolute irrational hatred and jealousy, their petty emotionalism, because they can't get out of their feels. So they were decided that what they're going to do is beat up Caitlin Clark by constantly clutching, grabbing, pushing, pulling, elbowing, and everything.
Now the countdown begins. The Fever must survive without their leader, while fans eagerly await her return. Caitlin Clark has built a reputation for overcoming challenges and delivering in big moments. If history is any indication, her comeback could become one of the most anticipated storylines of the WNBA season.